Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be continue learning the Arduino programming, and as a part of the programming, we will be learning what are the variables, why they are necessary, and why we are using in our program. Okay, so let's continue this video. For those who are not very familiar with this text coding or who are facing the problem while writing the code in the text format, so having one another coding platform here. The name of the coding platform is PictoBlocks, which supports the block coding for Arduino as well as the other microcontrollers, lot of other microcontrollers that you are having. For example, I'm going to the board and here is a list of microcontrollers that can be programmed using this PictoBlocks. And with this PictoBlocks, you can program all the microcontrollers listed here in block coding. Okay, so whatever, we are also having the AI and ML extensions here. So whatever the script that you want to create, whatever the thing that you want to interface, even from the LED to the fingerprint sensor, for example, advanced sensors, this also includes the keypad module, RFID, and the fingerprint sensor. So all these type of sensors you can interface with your Arduino with just assembling or arranging the blocks together. So let's continue this video. See, there is a lot of data that's being generated while the script is running, or the data entered by the user, or the data that we are fetching from the sensors. But to read the data, there is only just one function in whatever the programming language you are working with. For example, in Arduino programming, we are having a function to read the serial input entered by the user. This is the one function to read the user input, and this is the another function to read the user input. But the thing is, like, for example, you have just one container, you have just one cup with you, and you have three liquids, for example, say oil, milk, and water, and you want to store these three liquids in just one cup. So it's not possible. For example, you have just stored the oil in that particular cup and you want to store the milk in that cup also. So you can't do this because there is already a data, and when you are adding this milk into that in that cup, so you have to just replace that oil from that particular cup, right? So in the same way, we are having just one function to read the data given by the user, but we cannot store the previous data. Whenever we are reading the data, this function will store. For example, if we are talking especially about this serial.read string function, this function will store the latest data entered by the user. It doesn't matter what was the previous data, it's already overwriting again and again. And when at the end of the script, when we write the command serial.print this user input, this will be printing the latest data entered by the user, and all the previous data that was entered by the user in first, second, third, and nth attempt is all erased, all deleted, it's all gone. So to overcome this issue, we need to create some variables. We need to have a part of our script that can store that data so that we can use at any time when we need that data. So that particular part of our script are called the variables. So variables are nothing but as a part of our script that can store data for a temporary time. So why I'm saying this for a temporary time? Because the data stored, for example, say I have a variable data, and data is storing all the input entered by the user over here. Okay, so for example, I started my script, I executed my Arduino script for the first time, and there was data. For example, say user entered his name, and that name was stored in this data. Okay, so this was the first attempt. And when I executed the program, I ran the program for the second time, I may be entering the different input na? So the previous data is gone, and this data is now having the input that I have given in the second attempt. So that's why I'm saying this for temporary time, so they can store the data only while the script is running. Once you are stopping the script, once you have stopped the execution your script, that data is gone completely. Okay, So variables are nothing but the part of your script that can store the data for a temporary time. Okay, that can store the data for a temporary time. So in this script, I will be creating a variable. I will be reading the input from the user, and not just one, but the multiple inputs from the user. Okay, so let's start writing the code. Please remember that these variables are, this programming is case sensitive. So whatever the name of the variable you are typing, that is also the case sensitive. So the uppercase T and the lowercase t is different thing. So please remember this thing. Just run this code. The compilation is done and upload is also done. That means we are not having any error in our program. So just open the serial monitor and see, we have not given any input to our program. So that's why our whole serial monitor is empty. We are not having anything, just the null spaces over there. So type hi or whatever the message, hi, how are you? Just hit the enter button and here you got the message. It's continuously printing your message. I'm just saying, I'm just answering this question. I am fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. So here, in this way, we will be giving the multiple input to our program. We will be like having the multiple data inside the program. So variables are just a part of our program that we can that are used to store the data for a temporary time, and this data we can also use later on our programming while the script is running. Okay, so